Welcome back. The proposed palliatives by the federal government, are they feasible? That's what we're asking today. Two gentlemen in the studio, Ayodele, Adewale, and Taufik Gani. One says not practicable, the other one says practicable. So since you opened first, you want to ask him the first question.
Well, I think he should expatiate on the reason why he's saying that it's not practicable, because he agreed that it's very visible. But from my standpoint, that whatever is visible is practicable. Okay. So ab initio, he accepted that this program is a realistic program that can help bail out the Nigerian people from this social economic quagmire.
Yeah, let me re-emphasize that it is feasible. It is feasible, the definition includes that it is practicable. But we are saying that the APC will not fulfill. Well, something can be feasible, but we are now looking at what is going to be the eventual manifestation. Now, the APC is not morally stable to fulfill the fact that this increment can make giving very, very Father Christmas to all Nigerians feasible. Because if you even look at the manner it came about, I mean, it was not brought about in good faith. As we talk today, the PPRA, which ordinarily is supposed to give us the pricing of petroleum in the country, is not set up. We don't even have the board. So on one side, there is impunity, there is corruption. Somebody must answer that query. And then if you go and read Daily Independent of Monday 16, page 11, the Minister of State for Petroleum, Ibe Kachiku, has come out to say that nobody should talk about palliative coming out of the profits from this fuel. What is going to be palliative, go and face the budget. That it cannot guarantee that the palliatives will come out of whatever profit they make from this budget. I mean, it is there. He has said, so you have contradiction in the APC government vis-a-vis the fact that a lot of promises they made are already denied, are already jettisoned, and then Nigeria should not be so deceived that because they have mentioned that they will bring up palliative and then they will so bring it up. Why should we even talk about palliative when, by my own explanation, what we have done is that you have collected money from me without even having a product to sell to me. But because it is government, you think that you can impose your might. And that is exactly what has happened. Nigerians are supposed to be enjoying. If the country wants to go and take loan, the country should take loan first. I mean, start giving us good roads. Electricity tariff is also increased. We don't even have the supply. Give us good transportation. You understand? And then increase even at 200. You understand? But you see, we have graduated from capitalism, and people must know this. The PDP government was very humane, was very nice enough to say that it's not until we say that you start paying these taxes, you start doing this before we can give you the minimum we can give to you. But we have now reached a situation where the APC government has not only, restricted itself to capitalism, it is now imperialism, because imperialism includes that you will force on your subjects things that they don't want, and if they do make signs of any objection or opposition, you begin to clamp down on them. You know of how many activists that they clamp down before this announcement. I know them. I can begin to mention names. And then today, some people were supposed to be at Ojota. If you saw what was at Ojota, it would have been enough to go and fight the Boko Haram.
Okay.
Well, it's rather unfortunate that Mr. Gani misunderstands the concept of many of the ideological precepts that he has just postulated. He spoke about capitalism, imperialism, and all of that. But let's be a realist now. A budget was prepared. In that same budget, there was no provision for subsidy, which presupposes that the government ab initio knew what they were doing. All of the palliatives, as mentioned, had been provided for in the budget. We had said we are going to create employment for over 500,000 unemployed graduates, not just creating the employment for them. They are going to be retrained and distributed appropriately to where they are needed. We are going to provide food for 5.5 million students, pupils in our public school. And that flows as the farmer will be engaged, the people preparing the food will be engaged, People driving the food from where it is produced down to the school that is needed will be engaged. There'll be a lot of watering down all of these resources in order to cushion the effect of all of this. We are going to provide soft loans to people at no conditional expenses, additional expenses to them. And this will increase the opportunity for our artisans to even get some funding in order to improve on their skills and all of this. We are also going to make sure that the money gotten from this subsidy fund that would have been expended, you understand, to some, and given to some few Nigerians at the expense of the majority, we go into infrastructural development, we go into security, and all of this sundry. I was just coming from home. I parked at the junction leading to your station here. I saw what was going on. I decided to buy some perishable goods in order to get myself reacquainted with the prices in the market. And of course, I was discussing with people. And one of the things they told me that the major factor that mitigate the reduction of all of these perishable goods, one is storage, two is availability of quality roads to bring the farm produce down to where it will be purchased. Three is security. There's so many insecure areas in many of these places where these goods are planted. And these are where the monies that will be saved from this subsidy expenditure will be plowed into. He ought to understand that the long stay of the PDP, if they had governed this country well and appropriately, those times would have been enough for us to have structured this country very well. We wouldn't have been crying all of these things that we're doing now. And I do appeal to Nigerian people, particularly to the Labour Congress members and all of this, that we have 4 quarters in a year for this budget to be actualized. The first 2 quarters, can they stay action? Let's work with government. Okay, the first 2 quarters, let us monitor and see how these things are implemented.
I thought you would respond to. He said he thought this infrastructure that you're talking about, these palliatives should have begun to run even before the increase.
How do you run this palliative without a budget? A budget. Hold on.
No, that is why you are a government. Gani, and I just gave you an example. How can you collect money from me when you know that you don't have the goods to supply?
Gani, hold on. You will not understand.
You know what you have just done?
You will not understand. Gani, you will not understand. You will not understand how government is run. You will not understand. You will not understand how government is run. Gani, we said this in school. I taught this way while we were in school.
What?
We were in the same school. I taught this way.
Your government took over from my government.
And I ran the government well.
Of course, because
I ran the government well.
Okay, yes.
You were in the parliament, I was in the ESCO.
Yes.
And I ran the government well.
Yes.
Now listen.
Yes.
Look, these palliative were not in the last budget. Yes, the government had the right to continue to expend resources until a certain time before the budget.
No, I'm not talking about
Gani, hold on.
What
Gani, hold on. You cannot spend money out of a budget. You cannot spend money that is not budgeted for. If you do that, it is a crime.
You know it well.
If you do that, it is a crime. In the last budget, there was no provision for this palliative. There was no provision for this palliative. There was no provision for this palliative. And it becomes a crime. It becomes a crime against the Nigerian state, against the Nigerian people, if you file the constitutional process.
Ayodele,
Which constitutional process?
Gani, Ayodele, calm down. Now, the budget was just signed. The 2016 budget was just signed.
Barely 3 weeks ago.
Okay. But the 2015 budget, hold on.
Yep.
But the 2015 budget is assumed that it was running up till March or
Palliative
April.
provisions are not in it.
Hold on. But subsidy was in 2015 budget.
Palliative provisions are not in it.
Question. Was subsidy in the 2015 budget?
It has been expended. Remember, the government also went back to the parliament.
All right. Okay. All right. Hold on. Now, his question said, these palliatives, like Labour indeed was actually saying that these palliatives should have been running before the fuel prices were increased.
That is why I said they don't understand the operation.
You will explain.
But you have not been able
Can
to
I
explain
can I
for
put this
more
out
than
there?
5 minutes,
Can I
right?
put this out there
Yes.
then? Because we need to go on a quick break.
Okay.
When we come back, you do the explanation. So,
Okay.
Labour and Gani have said this policy should have been running before the
Very well.
fuel price was increased.
Very well.
A person, Adegoke, I hope I pronounced that name well, says the Minister of State of Petroleum, Ibe Kachiku, says subsidy removal saves 200 billion. FG announces 500 billion naira worth of palliatives. How can the palliatives be more than the savings? Question. We'll take a moment and come back to continue this conversation. Please don't go away.